feel like I should put it under tension and then fix it.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I wouldn't put this in.
I got you. Here. Go grab another one of these. Front corner of the shop, right hand corner. So like run into that back door.
It's like this every day. I am the welder because I have nothing good to say about the Tulsa Welding School. That's all you need to know about that. If anybody ever comes to you and they say, hey, I just graduated from Tulsa Welding School and I want to be your welder, you can tell them, that's great. You can start by sweeping the floor because that's probably all you're qualified to do after you graduate from that school and pay $14,000, $15,000, $16,000. That is a joke. The school's a joke, not what I just said.
Because it's not in the bid for us to do that, and if we get there and have to do that, that's going to be, you know, that's more work for us. That's more man hours put in the bid, so we need to.
Yeah, but just look at this. And everything is not there, you said?
I didn't see the gates outside, so let me double check. It's big. It's big 3-inch pipe, and that's not what we're using.
Yeah, my light. Whoa, you did the gotchas. Look at that.
Okay.
So we just could.
And you got the right bolt?
Yep.
And only thing about the black chain link is we don't have any gates. There's 4 gates. There's a double drive gate.
Well, how big are they?
Gates.
2.
The double drive is 8 foot and then 2 4
The
foot.
gates are down below the hill.
Okay.
Go down below the hill. There
Black
should be
chain
4 and 5 foot gates down there.
Okay.
4 foot tall. So below the hill there should be gates. Just make sure you got all your right gate hardware. Don't forget before you set your post to measure your hardware.
No, I always
your
put my
hinge,
gate
your
together.
latch,
I always
yeah.
put my gate together, put it in place, and that's where my post goes.
Because that's the biggest mistake people make is they go out and they set their gate. They assume that their gate is,
I brought mine from
you know, oh, I just need to set a 4 foot open. And I find out, well, it really needed to be 4 foot 1. We need to get your fittings. I guess you're missing some fittings for this black job. Is it this one?
Yeah.
Ethan, I suppose you could find this stuff over here for me and get it together.
It's like a treasure hunt.
It is. It's right over here.
Okay, I got this.
Let's pull this truck out of here, though. Let's get this truck out of our way. I got you. You get your truck out of here. I got this.
You want some of this? Will you pull that forklift out of here and come get all this stuff, please? It looks like I'm bigger when I'm in the truck. It's this thing right here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the air ride. So yeah, and I use it.
So Nick brought it to my attention that you might have noticed that there's a couple more people here. So we have Troy, who is a breakout foreman. I don't know if you know Preston. This is Preston. This is Josepe, also known as Joseph. This is always Austin. Austin, you know Austin. Austin's the one that looked like he put the trailer in the ditch that didn't put the trailer in the ditch. But he was just along for the ride. Didn't even have to pay extra for it. And then you remember Claydro. Claydro's cowboy hat guy. He's the movie star. Of course you know Claydro.
Just look me up.
So look him up on IMDb.
Have a good dang day.
You have a good dang day.
Yes, sir.
As soon as I get these guys on the road, then I'm gonna have Dan work on fabric and I'll weld arms. And then we'll knock this thing out.
And then, like I said, I don't have any hardware, hinge hardware though.
We'll get hinge hardware. So, yeah, just put all that stuff back in the bag and we'll get the rest of your stuff. Where in the world are my tape measures? I got like 1 billion of those things and they're all gone. Found one. So, he had 9.
Yeah.
10, and they're inch and 7/8. It's gonna be these ones here. Hey, let me show you something cool. I'll show you something that we do, because I'm super lazy. Now I realize this isn't gonna give you a good shot of what we do, but when it comes down to counting nuts and bolts and stuff like that, this is the only way to go. Come over here. This is called a counting scale, and it's a little finicky. Come on, turn on. Let's say that we want 2,000 of these, and we have a great big mess of a bin over there. Well, we use a counting scale for that. So I'm gonna take 10, put them on the scale right here, and it says, hey, that weighs 0.218 kilograms. So it's actually 218 grams. If you sell drugs on the side, you probably know all this stuff, but I don't sell drugs, so I have to do a little bit of math in my head. So we go 218, and then we hit unit weight, and then it says 1. That means we have 1 of those. Now, when this number gets to 4, we'll know we have 40 of them. Ciao. Oh, you dirty rotten bugger, it turned off. This is how we're gonna start off today. What? What is it, little scale? Did Timmy fall in a well? We're to 4. See, that's 3, that's 4. We have about 40. And then our rule of thumb whenever we do anything is we add 10%. You know, we don't want to get to the job and find out that we're 2 ties short. So this says 5. We actually have more than 10%. We're good to go. That was a good guess on my part. We get a lot of people that say, wow, I wish I could use easy twist ties, but they're just so deadly. They're not. So we're gonna put them on like this. We're gonna twist them, and usually when you put it on with your drill, you put it on and you tie them down like this, and so maybe they're sticking out like this. We take a hammer and we go tappy tap tap, and we knock that twist right back over to here, so it's stuck inside here, and there's no way anybody's ever gonna get snagged on the ends. This, when you spin it back around to touch the chain link like that, it's not a problem. It's no more of a problem than that, or any of the other things. This right here, that's how you end up at the job site with the wrong stuff, because the label says 1 5/8. And somebody who didn't know what they were doing assumed that these look exactly the same. I mean, because they look close, but unfortunately they're not. And it's not until you lay them up here and you see that this is 1 7/8, this is 1 5/8, and this happens so much. So we'll have to go through and sort all these out. I'm betting that right here next to us we have the same problem with our forks. I bet all the forks got combined. This is definitely an 1 5/8 fork. That's a problem for another day.
Jump it on the ground and I'll sort it out.
Yeah, okay. That one. This one. You just mixed one. You just did it. Guaranteed.
Yep.
That's 1 7/8.
Yep, that was 1.
Dude! Holy buckets. $20 says I can find another one.
All I have is a 50.
I got $20 says I can find one that's wrong in there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hey Dan, see that cat?
No.
All right, I lost $20. You win. You tricked me.
Corner folder right here. Let me undo that corner. Perfect.
I just don't like having anything unsecured that could potentially. Can you put it in your cage over here? Or I've got a sheet of steel that's supposed to be here. Did we get a sheet of steel? No. Yesterday?
This compartment is almost like, you know that junk drawer you have at your house that's, you know, batteries, all types of stuff in it? This is my junk drawer.
That's the garbage bin.
Perfect. I'm short. Gotta raise it up. Airbag seats, bud. You can't beat it.
How many of those are you making for me, 2? Hey, you probably haven't even met Alex. That's Alex. He's from California. And then that's Shamar. A couple more people you probably haven't met. So I don't know how many people are up to. I don't know, 10, 11, 12, something. It's getting to be a couple handfuls, literally. Hey, my son did not do what I asked him to do. We need to brush all these off and galvanize this before we get the chain link too far. You can do that. Just pull this out, brush that off real quick, and galvanize it for me, top and bottom. You're doing 4.5 is as much as you can go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this wire up here. So go get one of your get one of your dressers, your top rail dressers. Go get those, and use that to hold it up. And then before we get that, we need to galvanize that. So before we can do anything, we got to finish galvanizing this. Brush it off and galvanize it.
Fitting testers. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna get fastened on the part shelves. And that way when the guys here at SWI Florida go to pull a chain link job, they can test the fittings and positively identify that they have the right size fittings before it goes in the bag. You know, if we're in Wyoming right now, I could just toss them outside and they'd be ready to grab in like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It's like throw them in the freezer. The hot metal.
Stay back, like here somewhere, maybe right here, and pull that over, and then use this. So this is the 7-foot one, so we're going to use this one to secure it, and that one to pull it.
Let's pull the bottom of the gate out. I got it dropping the mark.
Oh yeah, no, you can do 2. Just do 2 well-placed ones. Or just pulling the chain link. Hopefully we have enough. I don't know if I made enough chain link, but I thought I did. You put it right here, I can't even get it squozed. Okay. So these have to go on right here, like this. Okay. It always has to be on the wire that's against the pipe, not the away wire, because this wire is 3-dimensional. Okay.
Word of the day, squozed.
Squozed. And this is Amber. She's the one that answers all the calls and does everything. She's kind of like my right hand.
Hey there.
You know, so now we have Amber, and then her husband is the salesperson, and then we have Micah, who's a new salesperson, so we're up to 2 salespeople. And then Tanya works, and then both my boys work part-time in the shop pulling orders and cleaning up. So that's kind of the entire team now. It's not just me and Larry anymore. We've grown a little beyond that. So yeah, we should talk about all the stress that creates.
And how I try and help
She does.
decrease it.
She does a great job of trying to eliminate the stress. So that's a little bit about what every day is like here. That's just the morning. We're 10:41 and that's everything that we've done today. You're probably thinking, hey, there's a lot of extra people working on stuff, and there is. We've got a whole bunch of shooting we were doing down here this week for some other stuff for the SWI channel. So that was going on, and luckily I had Dan and Alan here. Yes, things are on track, but the part I think I wasn't really prepared for was the immense amount of stress. And I'm not sure what makes this different. Maybe it's the fact that I have Wyoming I still have to worry about. I've got these new eye post things I'm concerned with. There's just a lot of stuff along with the YouTube videos and trying to make sure that's going well. So it puts a lot of pressure on me. And this week, especially with all the YouTube shooting for our other channel, sometimes that stress is just, it's soul crushing. I want to be happier. I like to be happy, but some days it's very, very tough. And I think that's the part of this challenge and doing all this that I wasn't really ready for, is just the mental stress. People that don't really know what's going on and trying to get everything up to speed, because really the name of the game for us here in Florida is scale or fail. You either have to stay extremely small and make it as a one-man band kind of small shop, or you've got to scale and get economies of scale to make the numbers work. And that's where we're at. We have to scale. We really don't have a choice. There's not a middle ground that's going to make it work for me, especially if I want to step away, because I don't want to be involved in this on the day-to-day. And ultimately, I think most fence companies and most construction contractors want to get to a point where they aren't in it every day doing all the grunt work. But as you saw, I could be welding, I could be installing fence, I could be tying gates. I made that entire cantilever gate because I didn't have a welder. So who did that? That was me. And I step in and have to fill in all those holes. And what happens when I do all that stuff is it adds more stress. It probably creates more problems because then I don't focus on the other things that I need to. And Brian has taken off some of that stress, and Amber's taken some of that stress off. I don't have to worry about the sales, so that's really good. The new sales guy that we hired came to us with a lot of experience, so there's not going to be a huge learning curve there. Not to mention Jeremy will train him, not me. So I'm really trying to put that in place so that it's not me doing everything and I'm not the key individual. And I have to do fill in all the holes every week and also help install and train. It just gets to be too much. So that's the biggest thing I've noticed. And it really has affected my mental health. My wife is not happy with this. I'm not happy with this. And that's the biggest thing we've got to make change in the next 2 months, or we're going to get to the end of this challenge and I'm going to be looking to hand the keys to somebody else because I don't want it. I've got a really good company in Wyoming and I don't need the added stress of a problem. That's where we're at. I'm just trying to figure out how we get it to where it's comfortable and not so stressful again, because it's weighed a lot on me over the last few days. A lot of you watch this and you're like, yes, I feel that stress. I know what that stress feels like. So trust me, I'm in the trenches with you every single day, doing all the stuff that I don't necessarily want to be doing, that may not be the best use of my time, because that's where the hole is today. That's where the fire is today. So I left the fire department in Wyoming and created my own little fire department right here. So super fun. That's a joke. It's not fun at all, but better times are ahead. I feel confident that we are absolutely building an amazing team. And if I can continue that trend in a couple months, I think things will be a lot better. So I'm gonna hang in there. It's gonna be good. We're gonna get somewhere. Positive trajectory, good thoughts, and hopefully some of the next updates will be a little bit more upbeat. But until next time, I'm Mark with Successful Contractor, and I hope you have a good dang day.